We made it. All right. Another one. So let's see if we can get the whole gang to see me and we'll be good to go. So wait for the computer and get started. Do. All right. Come on, computer. 30 seconds doesn't take this long. There we go. All right. Jacob can see me. Good deal. So you guys can all hear me and see me. So my wonderful technology skills are still working. All right. So, been a busy day. And as I was kind of watching a few of the comments here in the last 10 minutes or something like that, I want to start here. I know we've got Lucky Dame, North Shore, and Jacob in here as moderators, but because the live streams are getting a little bigger, I'd like a couple more people to volunteer to be moderators. And what I'd ask is, you guys know if you're here every Tuesday and Saturday, we need people that are be here. So if somebody wants to volunteer, drop a comment in the chat over there, and I will make you a mod real quick, and we'll add a couple, because I can already see we've got 5 thumbs down, so obviously we have some trolls around already. So we'll see what's going on. All right, Robert says you're willing and able. Congratulations, Robert. You just got yourself a wrench. And let's see if anybody else goes in there. Trolls, like Lucky Dame says, trolls are becoming more prevalent. Ain't that the truth? And Big Bear Prepper we'll try to pop you in there. And we'll do that. And we'll add one more. Michael S., you're in there as well. Okay, so, all right, that gives 6 of you guys. So that should keep the riffraff out of here. So, and for those 3 of you that are new, you've probably been around here long enough. We don't put up with anything, any crap from anybody. There are no 300-second timeouts or whatever. Somebody's an ass, you just boot them, okay? There's too many good people in here to let a couple of bad ones ruin it. So, all right, lots going on today. If any of you guys was as much of a glutton for punishment as me and decided to watch the Potato and Chief's speech today, my condolences. It was, besides the fact he was nearly an hour late, I guess his handlers, couldn't get him awake from his nap. But, it was kind of funny listening to it. I figured I'd start counting the lies in the speech. And it was interesting when I was at 4 and we weren't even 2 minutes into the speech yet. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be, thank God this isn't a drinking game. Yeah, I mean, I love the comments about Vermont and Maine, which was hilarious because I just told you about Tennessee yesterday. I mean, I looked up the figures while he was talking and his figures were wrong. So, I mean, and the source I was using was the New York Times. It's not exactly your most conservative place. So, if the New York Times is disagreeing with the Potato and Chief, yeah, that tells you it's bullshit. But a couple other things got brought up. If you listen to the Q&A afterwards, they asked a lot about what was going on with Andrew Cuomo. And of course, they have now found the AG finished their inspection and found that I guess the credibility of the 11 people who have accused him of sexual misconduct have been verified. So you've now got the White House, Pelosi, Schumer, everybody calling for Cuomo's resignation, which would be a very good thing for New York. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't care if you're the bluest of blue person out there. Nobody deserves to be sexually harassed, okay? And, I take him over to a cliff, put a bullet in the back of his head and let him fall over. That's a good spot for people like that. Nothing of the sort. The big one in Joe's speech today, if you caught this, and, of course, kick the can, punt, can't take responsibility for anything. Bunch of the reporters were asking him questions on the rent moratorium, and he kept saying, the CDC is going to have an announcement in 2 hours or an hour or whatever it would be. Sure enough, they did. Okay. But Joe's answer at one point was very interesting because he said that, obviously the Supreme Court said the moratorium was unconstitutional. And so he said in there, he goes, well, the CDC is going to do something else. We're going to try to work our way around it. Okay, nothing like the president of the United States telling us he's going to try to work around the law. All right. That was telling in itself. But when he said, yeah, he goes, but by the time it's finished litigating, we'll be able to have this done. Okay. So what they're doing is using the legal system against itself. Now, if you caught the news afterwards, the CDC came out with something to extend the moratorium till October 3rd. Interesting date, right? October 3rd is a Saturday. Why? Because the Supreme Court's on recess, and the Supreme Court comes back when? October 5th. You can be damn sure Monday morning the Supreme Court is going to have an emergency ruling saying, can't do this. Okay? Now, when Biden was bitching about all these people who, there's $47 billion that's waiting to be handed out to landlords and the states are just slow. No, the states aren't slow. The rule was that the tenant had to apply for those funds, and then the landlord would get paid. Now, think about this. Are you filling out applications for anything for your next door neighbor? No. Okay, you do it for yourself. Why does anybody think that all these tenants would go and fill out the application so their landlord can get paid? They don't care. Okay. They know they're going to leave anyway. So why make the landlord whole? They don't care. So they didn't do it. That's why all this money is sitting around. Again, whoever wrote the bill to pass this money out did not think the landlord should be the one filing for it going, I'm out $87,000 because of this tenant, this tenant, this tenant, and this tenant, and I've got the leases. Okay. And that's how it should have been done. But no, they couldn't do that. They were too worried about fraud. Right. Let's worry about the landlords committing fraud. Not that the Democrats ever do that. I don't know, November. So that was kind of interesting there. The next one that you had today, and I'm hearing different numbers, but I guess there's four, possibly six oil tankers that were hijacked by the Iranians. Interesting. I guess, what it was some sort of computer hack to shut down their navigation systems and their motors and everything like that. Six oil tankers in the Gulf do not all start having engine problems at the same time. Okay. So we got that kind of crap going on. So of course we'll see what happens there, but that's going to piss a lot of countries off. Let's just leave it at that. The Whiskey Alfa Romeo maybe, but not going there. Now, what I'm saying I'm not going there brings me up to the last point I want to make before we get into our normal, regularly scheduled programming. Anybody else seeing an absolute ton of bullshit being put out on the internet lately? In the last 3 days, something. I've had emails from folks, and I've links to videos, links to articles, whatever. The Nasara Jassara thing's coming up again. Guys, when you see this, please stop listening to the QAnon idiots. Nasara Jassara was an idea. It was a proposal that somebody wrote in the 90s, not even a government person. It never even made it to Congress for debate, let alone was voted on. It was not signed into law in 2000 like people talk about, everything like that. It's nothing, okay? If anybody's telling you it is something, tell them to bend over, okay? We're hearing again, got to bring this one up. Hillary is at a military tribunal in Guantanamo again. Okay. The the lunatic fringe is out and about lately. I mentioned in this morning's video about Posobiec saying, "Oh, Biden's going to give this speech and put the country in a national lockdown and everything like that." Okay, I tell you, I watched the speech. We ain't in a lockdown. Okay, is he unhappy with the governors that are saying we're not doing this? Sure. Why? Because he wants total control. But that's fine. But no, he's not issuing a federal mandate that we're locked down. He's asking companies to do it. Okay. In other words, passing the buck again, because he ain't got, he's got squirrel balls. But, he knows legally he can't do it. And so he's going to pass the buck onto the companies and let the companies try to do it to see if they can legally do it until the court system's backed up like crazy from people suing their employers and former employers for wrongful termination. So you're going to get into something like that. Guys, I will say, please, when you hear some of this stuff, double check it, triple check it, whatever. Just because double check, triple check what I say. I do make mistakes. I've told you guys when I'm wrong, okay? And I will apologize for being wrong. But you get a lot of these people out there who are hyping stuff up, fear-mongering, doing whatever. And again, think of any journalist, anything, okay, that's got any sort of podium to speak on. The majority of them are there for clicks or for eyeballs, all right? Newspapers, magazines, TV shows, whatever it is. What do they do? Why does it say, and right after the break, we'll tell you about this? Why do they do that? Why do they give you that teaser? Because they need to sell that advertisement, because that's what pays their salaries, okay? And so if they keep you sticking around long enough, you're watching the ads to come back. Same thing with the YouTubers and the Rumblers and everything like that. A lot of them are out here specifically just to go down the rabbit hole and see how insane they can be, how crazy they can be, and get eyeballs. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. It's like, how many of these thumbnails do you see on your YouTube homepage that's a girl in a bikini or something like that? It's a prepping channel. Okay. I hate to tell you this, guys, bikinis are not good prepping clothes. So, but why? Because, it's eyeballs, gee, it's a teaser, whatever it would be. Eye candy, what do they call it? Whatever it would be. Content, truth, facts. There's enough real stuff going on in the world right now that we need to be concerned with, to leave the conspiracy theories, the lunatic fringe, the stuff that's been debunked 12 days from Sunday, just leave it be. I wish there were more. There's a lot of good channels, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of them out there that people talk about, that get the eyeballs, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And I open it up and I'm going, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me, not again." So, guys, please don't go down these crazy rabbit holes. Stick to the facts on stuff, okay? If somebody says something and it sounds out there, go check it out. And if you find it on 2 or 3 other places, they're all talking about the same thing, okay, then chances are it's realistic, okay? But if it's 3 YouTubers, no, that's not realistic, okay? If it's, a YouTuber and, some alt media news station, and then you find it, I don't know, on, OANN or NPR or something like that, maybe then it's valid, even if it's just a little blurb, somebody talks about it, maybe then it's validated, okay? But, again, there isn't a YouTuber in this world who has inside information to the White House. I've got Joe Biden's left ear. I know he's telling me what's going on. I'm sorry. There's, YouTubers are not in press conferences. We are taking the news that we can find and analyzing it. Okay. But there's a difference between analyzing and sensationalizing. Okay. Please listen to what these guys are saying. And if it sounds far out, it's far out. So Sorry, but I just a lot of emails lately with crazy crap like that, and I don't want you guys falling down a rabbit hole either, thinking starting to get worried about something that isn't. There's, like I said, there's enough stuff, real stuff to worry about. Let's not worry about the bullshit. So, okay. So let's get into Q&A. For all those of you guys that are new here, how we do this is you basically ask me questions. If you have a question, please put it in all caps. That's what I'm going through the chat. I've got my computer right below me here so I can read the chat. I'm looking for all caps, and I will answer as many questions as I can in time permitting. I start from the top and work my way down. So if you haven't heard an answer to your question in, say, 5-10 minutes, feel free to ask it again. The thing will shoot me down to the bottom, and then I lose once at the top if I get a little bit slow. But if I see the same question a second time, I just skip over it. Not a big deal. Nothing's off limits. We've talked about anything and everything around here. Just please keep it PG-13, okay? We try to be respectful of each other in here. And so anybody that starts getting into an argument or, name calling or anything like that is going to get the boot real quick, okay? We have no patience for that whatsoever around here. We're all supposed to be working together for a common cause, not fighting amongst each other. I don't expect all of you guys to agree 100%. I certainly don't expect everybody to agree with me 100%, okay? Like I've said to many people, I don't agree with Mrs. Pinball 100% of the time. So I sure as hell don't expect anybody to agree with me 100% of the time. Take what's important to you, throw away what's not, but maybe I bring up a topic, it gives you something to think about. Sometimes it's good to hear, a different point of view, give you something else to either harden your point of view or maybe change your point of view. Who knows? But okay, so let's go to the top, which there's 800 and some odd of you in here right now. So glad we got a few new mods to help us out. And let's see what we got here. So let's see. Rebuilding ruins, Ronnie Hall. Did you see Biden calling out, I'm assuming that's de Blasio? Yeah, de Blasio is, first off, he's out on his way out as mayor. He's done, okay? So he's going to do, in the last couple of months he's going to do whatever he can to completely trash New York City. And I got a kick out of a interview with him today. He's like, oh, well, the only way you can live a good life in New York City is if you get the jab. Other than that, you're not going to live a good life. You're not going to be able to go to restaurants. You're not going to do whatever. And I just kind of looked at it and I go, you are an incredible moron, because all you're going to do is cause people to move out of the city and kill your tourism industry. Congratulations. Yeah, if I can't go to the restaurants, I'll go to a different one, okay? If I can't go to the restaurants in New York City, I'll get on a PATH train and go into Hoboken. The restaurants are better and cheaper. So it's like, Bill, I hate to tell you this. You ain't, New York ain't all that in a bag of chips, all right? It's like, sure, it's a busy city and it's got things that other cities don't have, but like I said the other day, I give a rat's ass about ever seeing a Yankees game. Both your football teams suck, okay? And gee, what am I going to watch in a way of a show? A bunch of woke people running around stage? No thanks. So, you're going to lose. Do I have any intentions ever going to New York? Nope. Okay, been there one time in my life. That's one time too many. Let's see. Scarlet Brimstone, basically same comment, and I was just mentioning that. Let's see. Rooster says, getting hammered with confusion. I fell for the Q crap. Yeah, they're, like I said at the top, they try to, there was something somebody sent me today about, oh, this is all the plan and everything. And at the beginning, it started right, the divisiveness and everything. And then it got into this, we're going to war. They're going to have armed people coming to your doors, sticking the shot in you in at gunpoint. It's like, okay, this is when they get you. It's like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. And then it's just, we're going to push a little further, push a little further. And all of a sudden by the end of the article, you got a raving lunatic. There's some guy, I want to say his name's Mike Adams. I'm not sure, don't quote me, but there's an article on him on Natural News every morning. And the guy has good premise, but he takes it so far off on a insane tangent. You get through about a third of the article and you go, okay, making sense. You get down to about the halfway point and you go, what the hell is this guy smoking? By the time you get to the end of the article, you're like, all right, this guy's just put a pound of heroin in his arm. It's just, I have no time for that. Like I said, I need real stuff to deal with. South Colorado Stetter, okay, talking about the ships in the Gulf. One was an actual hijacked British confirmed armed boarders. Yes, I saw that. But again, what makes sense? If you take out 4, 5, 6 of them or whatever, none of them know which one is what's going to happen. Then you get, was it 8 or 9 guys, I think, actually hijacked this ship. And then all the rest of them are like, oh my God, okay, they're going to come. They're coming for us. They're coming for us. I mean, you can play mental games too that way. Once it happens to one, they get on the radio and go, we've now taken this ship, yada, 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 we're coming for you next. And everybody panics. Kim, what do I think of the 4 suicides of Capitol Police? Seems uncanny in the least. Well, I know the common thought that everybody wants to talk about is Arkansas. This is the problem. We don't get news anymore, okay? We get 24/7 opinion. And unfortunately, all the opinion is in this direction. So why are these guys committing suicide? I mean, one of them, I think, was 26, okay? I'm sorry, at 26 years old, chances are you haven't had enough happen to you in your life, unless you are a very, very soft-minded person, to commit suicide. Now, teen suicides and everything like that, they're still soft-minded, okay? They're still impressionable. Suicide's miserable no matter what age. Don't anybody read into what I'm saying here, okay? But to be a Capitol cop, you go through a very intense scrutiny, okay, including a mental health check, okay, because obviously you are around the president, all Congress, the Senate, judges. They want to make sure you aren't, half loopy. So, this is disturbing, okay, that we got 4 suicides. I mean, that's, I don't want to say coincidental. I mean, that's weird that, 4 cops that were all at January 6th have done it. I mean, do they know something and the stress is getting to them because they can't talk about it? It's either that or it's Arkansas. I mean, that, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. Those are just my thoughts. This is just too weird that in 6 months, 4 guys who were all in the same situation killed themselves, especially one who's 26. Okie Forge, disinformation is a tool used by the other side to confuse us and make us look dumb. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, that's it. I've said a million times, they want you to watch what this hand's doing while the other one's in your pocket or whatever it is. I mean, this is not anything new, okay? The catch is we got to be smarter than they give us credit for, which isn't hard, okay? But they are constantly trying to fill us full of misinformation, to use that term, okay? So we get preoccupied with something stupid while something important that we should be paying attention to, they're just kind of sneaking on through. I mean, I'll give you this one on the infrastructure bill, okay? I just found this one out this afternoon. One of the things that they're trying to push through in the infrastructure bill, that every new car has a breathalyzer type device in it to make sure that you're not drunk. Now, if anybody's ever had one of those things that you got to blow in your car, I have. Y'all know I got a DUI once about 7 years ago. And in order for me to drive, I had to blow in this stupid thing for 90 days or whatever it was be, so my car would start. Okay. Pain in the ass. Very embarrassing when somebody else gets in your car, and you got to do that too. And now they want something similar to that put in every new car. Oh, well, we've got to get drunk drivers off the road and everything. No doubt. Okay. No doubt whatsoever that, drunk driving accidents are a problem. But now you're taking away another freedom. Okay. Because y'all know your car is a huge computer on wheels. Okay. Everybody's got Bluetooth in the car, which means your car can be hacked. Okay. Now you're going to get something like this. Let's say somebody doesn't want you going somewhere. I'll just tap, 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 tap. And gee, now you know what? That'll register as they're drunk. How long does it take for them to go tap, 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 tap? We'll just have every time a car says that automatically go to the local police department. Somebody plays around with you and all of a sudden you got the cops behind you. It's like, okay, sir, we're going to arrest you for drunk driving because your car said so. But I'm a teetotaler. Doesn't matter. Your car said you were drunk. Guilty until proven innocent. That's what they're trying to pull again. Stop insulting squirrels. Let's see. Fox 3905. What are my go-to news sources? Oh my God. Depending on the topic that I want to talk about. Okay. If there's something specific that I'm looking for, then I'm going to get into DuckDuckGo and I'm going to go start looking for details, and it could come up anywhere. I mean, like I said, I was looking up numbers and I pulled New York Times. Okay. I mean, not that they're going to give me a whole lot of information, but in this particular case, they did. But I mean, I'll go in and read articles that are on Zero Hedge, on Breitbart, on Newsmax. I mentioned Natural News, the Israeli Times, RT. God, what else do I look at? I mean, there's so many different things. Sky News. The Greek site War News. I try to find stuff from all over the world because a lot of times, especially like I said, Sky News, a lot of times the foreign news outlets, Al Jazeera is another one I'll look up. The foreign news outlets are ones that will actually give me better reporting on what's going on in the U.S. than the U.S. media will, because the U.S. media is bought and paid for by the White House, by the DNC. And so the only thing that the U.S. media is going to tell you is whatever's approved. I mean, I've said many times, Pravda in the Soviet Union has nothing on the mainstream media now. I mean, Pravda was a joke in Russia or in the Soviet Union, just like our mainstream media is a joke now. So, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of them that I'll go through. Pam Fury, I watched Sky News Australia, nothing in 5 days. Right, that's because they got a strike on YouTube. Again, you think about that. Sky News is owned by the same company that owns Fox News, okay, News Corp. And YouTube shut them down. All right, I mean, this is how far Google and Facebook and everything, they are now shutting down mainstream media that does not agree with their platform. There's one that came out today. This was kind of good. If anybody knows who Ken Burns is, okay, he's an author, far leftist type filmmaker. Okay? He's written some good books. He wrote a great one on baseball about 20 some odd years ago. But he's got very politically active over the years, and he thinks Stacey Abrams walks on water. Stacey Abrams, the only way she's walking on water is because she's so damn fat. She's in a float. But Ken Burns came out today and called Zuckerberg an enemy of the state. Holy crap! Why? Called him an enemy of the state because Zuckerberg isn't censoring conservatives enough on Facebook. that's the kind of crap we've got going on. I mean, this guy's an American, got a right to vote, okay? But the censorship that we're getting from big tech isn't enough for him. So, in his mind, conservatives shouldn't be allowed to talk at all. Okay, I'm waiting for them to start censoring, Ted Cruz and the Republican congressmen and representatives, when their clips are on the news or anything like that. It's like, oh no, can't talk about something like that. It doesn't, lick Joe's balls here. Johnny Finance, I'm loyal to your channels, but if you start bikini it, I'm out, brother. Trust me, you ain't seeing me in a bikini. Not even if I had 10 bottles of Applejack. Rooster, no butt-kinis. Let's see. Okay, get through all the bikini comments. Pinball in a Speedo. There you go. No, not happening. That was high school. Okay, we shot to the bottom again. So let's go back to where we were. See if I can get all the way there again. Okay. Now I got to start again. Midwest mom out in the garden. And she that Midwest mom says, "Good evening from the garden. Can't do anything about this crazy world right now, but I can work on my green thumb." And I will say this, okay? And I do it myself. I mean, y'all know me. I'm fortunate enough that I get to work from home, okay? And I trust me, I count my blessings every day that I get to do that. I know not most people can't, which allows me to check emails or watch the news or whatever as I'm sitting on hold waiting for somebody or whatever too. But the one thing that I find is very important is to step away from the craziness that is the world, okay, and go focus on something that you can do something about, all right? We can talk all we want about Biden, Cuomo, de Blasio, Newsom, Stacey Abrams, Whitmer, pick one. We can bitch all we want all day long, and God knows I do enough of it. But you got to walk away. And, if that, prepping should be a very good outlet for you to do it. And I mean, this is my challenge to everybody, okay? Every day, spend 1 hour. I mean, some days you're going to do more, I get it, okay? Spend 1 hour doing something that is prepping related. And I mean, it could be pulling weeds in the garden, okay? Garden soil's got to be decent so you can grow stuff, so that's prepping related. It could be you're at the grocery store and you're picking up regular week's worth of groceries, but you're picking up some other stuff. Hey, that counts. You're doing something. You could be canning your vegetables, could be organizing your pantry, could be researching solar generators. I don't know. But, spend an hour doing something like that because that's proactive. That's something that you are doing to counter all the crap that is coming out there. I mean, today, I don't know if I told you guys or whatever, I found a couple of weeks back, maybe a month ago or so, found somebody on Craigslist that was selling a 10-foot trailer, okay? Just flat trailer. The thing's probably 20, 30 years old, who knows? But he was selling it for $500, okay? Now, these things usually run somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500. So I'm like, okay, so I go out and look at it, and, it's straight, the frame's straight, the axle's straight, the lights are new, and they worked. Okay, the tongue is straight, everything worked. I was like, all right. Now the boards needed to be replaced, and the tires need to be replaced. Okay, a couple of $100, and I've got a $1,200 trailer for $700. So, so that was what I've been working on. It was like, get out, work with some tools, take this thing apart, but it's working with my hands. Sure, it's working with your head too, but it's doing something. But you say, okay, what good's a trailer for prepping? Well, there's a lot of good uses for a trailer for prepping. Trust me, try hauling around water, okay? That might have some good use. But, get out and do something. Go work in the garden. That's important stuff. Yeah, would not. 75% of the Delta cases in the state of Massachusetts are vaccinated. I know. And if you heard Biden's speech today, this was the funny. I mean, there were so many just outrageous lies in here. 99, as he said, 99% of the deaths from COVID right now are unvaccinated people. That's what Joe said today. I mean, that is such a complete lie. It's unbelievable. But like I said earlier, just like with all the QAnon crap and them putting out all this bullshit, so is the White House putting out all this bullshit. And I guarantee you there is not a single person that watched on CNN or MSNBC or ABC, NBC, CBS, NPR, PBS, any of those people. Not a single one of them went to go look up the numbers and see if Joe was accurate. They just all go, yup, that's it, Joe, yup. Little seals, balance a ball on your nose here, a trained seal. Billy Pollard, how long before we see a substantial correction in the market? I wish I had a crystal ball, okay? I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, unemployment numbers aren't getting better. The GDP numbers are getting worse, okay? And inflation keeps going up. And again, the market is, they're betting on future earnings, not today's, what's going on, so it just doesn't make sense. Now, the thing I'm looking at this point is I'm going to start getting into historical. Historically, October is the worst month of the year for the market. Now, what happens? I don't know. What's going to happen when you're going to start seeing this is I'm betting when we get into next earnings season, which comes out about a month or so. Because now that you have had all this stops of the federal unemployment and there haven't been any more stimulus checks, people just haven't had money burning a hole in their pockets. And so now when the companies are going to come out and say, gee, we didn't make as much money in the second quarter, whatever would be, that could be it. So watch this next earnings season, because you've already had some companies that are reporting here lately that are outside of your normal earnings periods, and they're all reporting shortfalls in revenue. Okay, so shortfalls in profit. So, I know everybody's going to go, yeah, you're getting close now. I still see the Dow under 20,000 by the end of the year. I still say there's going to be a massive crash coming up. And if there's any, even if it can't be done nationally, if you lock down the blue states, that'll cause it. Okay. So, Karen, where are the VA hospitals located in Tennessee? Are they average or below average? My doctor, okay, I go to one of the clinics, okay. My doctor is in La Follette, and they're really good. The VA hospital is that I would go to if I used the hospital is in Knoxville. Now, I can say this. I've used VA facilities in Salt Lake City, in Las Vegas, and now here. Salt Lake was decent. The hospital complex was immense, okay, but it was old. But the care was decent and the wait times were okay. Nevada built a brand new, beautiful hospital while I was there, okay, but the quality of patient care I found lacking, okay. It didn't strike me that they were getting the best and brightest doctors there. Here, the facilities are in really good shape. I've found my doctor I like my doctor. She's probably 10 years younger than I am or whatever it is. But, like I said before, she asks the question. She doesn't try to force anything on me. She asks the questions. She'll answer any questions. If I need to be there for 45 minutes, she'll sit and answer every question I've got. No problem. I've been pretty impressed with the hospitals. And again, like I said, this is just in the my clinic, the doctor's office, if you will. It's not a hospital. I haven't had any reason to need the VA hospital here, so I can't give you any sort of answer on the Knoxville facilities. But went in, had my eyes checked out. The optometrist in Knoxville, they were fine, got me in and out of there quickly. Any times I've had to have any tests done, that was quick. Y'all know I get poison ivy, but then I just go to the local emergency room and get that taken care of, and it's simple as that. But no, I mean, I haven't had any of the 3 cities that I've used the VA in. I'd say this is the best of the 3, which probably people wouldn't expect. Outcast Annie Tinfoil, do you think they are deliberately killing business to keep people apart? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's very short-sighted to deliberately kill business, but I wouldn't put it past a Cuomo, a de Blasio, or whatever it is, because the more people on the dole, the more powerful they get. They want to have and I dub a loaf of bread. I mean, that's pretty much what they want. Okay, Outcast Nanny Tinfoil says they also could be killing business to buy them up cheap. I don't. Yeah, but okay, the housing stuff, I absolutely agree. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to crush the housing market. Why BlackRock is going in and paying a premium for housing, unless they figure that the housing market's just going to keep going up. Why they're paying a premium now, I don't know. I get that part, but what, you think about any business, most of your retail and stuff like that, the business is only as good as the location and the price. Okay. I mean, I could put a Tiffany's right across the street from my house here. I could build the most beautiful store in the world. There ain't anybody out here who's shopping at Tiffany's. Okay. So what's the point? So, I mean, and again, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos of the world, any of these guys, BlackRock, whatever would be, they don't want to be running a bunch of convenience stores or, Dollar Generals or anything like that. I mean, if anything, they just want to put them out of business. So the only place you have to go is to, their Amazon. Robert Need, is there any more info on that ship that was heading to Venezuela? I have not heard a peep on it, so I do not know. Teresa, and they refused to name the cop who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt. I hear it was a black cop, therefore a media blackout. I thought they finally came out a couple of weeks ago and said the guy's name. I could be mistaken. And if I remember seeing the video, the guy was not a black cop. Because there was a video of the guy pointing right as she was crawling in the window, or at least a still photo. Let's see. CKOC, Yellowstone is now screaming, which isn't good. Yeah, that's all we need right now. Now we need a natural disaster. Let's throw something like that in there. Let's have Yellowstone go off. Let's have an that 8.2 earthquake that went in Alaska. Let's have that happen on the San Andreas Fault. Let's have that happen, through Memphis or anything like that. Then let's see what happens. It's like everybody said it's 2020. It's 2021. This whole decade's going to be like this. Let's see. Sandra Templeton, what do I think the January 6th commission will be used for? Oh, all they're going to use it for is straight white Christian conservatives are bad. That's all it's going to be used as a talking piece to say how bad straight white Christian conservatives are. That's all it's going to be. It was everything that's wrong in the country is because of the straight white conservative Christian. That's all they're going to do. Okay. A Truck Campbell, what do I think about the state of the economy? I think we're in a world of shit. Okay. Inflation is going like crazy. We all see the price of groceries. Gas has stayed stable for about 2 months, give or take. Okay. But we haven't seen it jump 50 cents or something like we did a while back. But food we're seeing go up like crazy. Lumber has actually come down. There's been all the talk. Housing prices, people can't afford to buy a house. I saw the other day, was it rent in 2021, I think is up 12 or 13% from where it was last year. Okay. That not only are we having all these people get evicted for not paying rent, but if they want a new place, okay, the rent's even higher than it was before, and, you start talking about, oh, gee, your rent's $1,000. Okay. And now your rent's $1,130. Okay. Your rent's $2,000. Now your rent's $2,260. It starts adding up quick. Car prices getting crazy. When we're going to, and again, we're starting to see the way to make money dwindle. I told you guys the story about Capital One canceling my interest-bearing checking account and just making it a regular checking account because they phased out the interest-bearing accounts. Then I went and opened up a account here locally because of that crap, and there was a sign in there. It's like, what was it? 0.1% interest or 0.05% interest on a 5-year CD. I'm like, yeah, right. Okay, so I'll give you $1,000 and you're going to give me, $5 a year in interest. Sure. Okay, that's going to happen. No. My money's safe for stuff than a mattress at that point for the little that you're getting. So, it's like you can't even earn, any money on any sort of savings that you have. But yeah, the economy, when you've got, Janet Yellen and, screaming up and going, oh, this inflation is transitory and, it's only going to last for a short time. Okay. Short time to me is a couple of days. Okay. Well, it's lasted longer than that. All right. So what's a short time to them? A couple of decades? Give me concrete numbers. Don't tell me short. Okay. Because, somebody who's short to a guy who's 5'2" is not the same as somebody who's short to a guy who's my size. Give me concrete figures. Epic Times. Somebody mentioned Epic Times. That's another good one to listen to. National Enquirer. No, that's not. Does National Enquirer still even exist? Wouldn't know. Green Smoothie Queen. Why do I think the Australians are not standing up? I think they are. I think that it's just become too difficult to do it. I saw something. The vax rate in Australia is 14%. Okay. So it's lower in the entire country than I think the lowest state in the United States is. But, they've got all this just craziness that's just been shoved on them. And again, the fact of the matter is that Australians allowed themselves to be disarmed. You want to see what's going to happen in the United States if the Second Amendment goes away, go look at Australia, because they allowed all their guns to be taken away. And now, gee, we're just going to put the military in Sydney. Gee, we're going to lock you down and you can't go within 10 clicks of your house, whatever it would be. You're not allowed out in the street unless you're going to the grocery store or a doctor's appointment, and you can't do anything about it. Okay. There we go. Rooster, Olympic game, fat floating. Yes. Stacey Abrams is the 4-time Olympic champion. Teresa, Facebook deleted my entire account from a post from 2018. Oh my God. Well, hey, you know what? There was the one guy who was, speaking of the Olympics there, the guy who's on the Olympic organizing committee in Japan or whatever it was, and they fired him over some joke he made back 20 years ago. Yeah, you know, I guarantee you, every single one of us has said something in our life somewhere that if there was recordings of everything that we regret, it could be used against us. Okay, you know, hell, you know, Biden saying, Robert Byrd was a great senator. Robert Byrd was a Klansman. Okay, but hey, beside the point. The narrow way. Do I believe we are headed into a dark winter? It's a great term. Define it. Okay. Does it mean the lights go out and it's going to be cold? That's possible. Okay. Does it mean complete economic collapse? That's possible. Is it just going to be a crappy year? That's probable. Okay. It depends on how you define dark winter. I don't think anything's getting better anytime soon. Let's put it that way. Yeah, there was the shot to the bottom. Back up we go. Let's see if I can find where we were. Okay, it's as far up as I can go. Cherokee Survival asks if I've been in the VA in North Carolina. Nope, like I said, Utah, Nevada, Tennessee. That's it. Rooster Cogburn, any prepping conventions or groups in New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut? Not that I know of. I know Prepper Nurse had his in New York there maybe about a month ago. Gina Holden, Pinball, did I get the letter asking me to serve again and get the jab? No, that would be hilarious, okay? Because unless they are going to completely change the laws, if I remember correctly, that you were allowed to, at least the way it used to be, could have changed. You were allowed to enlist up until the age of 37. If you got out, you could re-enlist up until the age of 37, plus a year for every year that you served. So I served 8, so that means that I could have re-enlisted until I was 45. I'm going to be 55 in a month, so unless they've changed the laws, I really doubt that they're going to do it. And they're certainly not going to bring me back at my old rank. Okay, woohoo! I was an E5. But somebody made a comment the other day when I said, military guys aren't paid great, and military guys make a lot of money. I looked and go, yeah, okay. If I was an E5 right now, an E5 makes about $2,500 a month. Okay, yeah, that's, if you want to use the math, guys, that's what. Let's see, what's 2,500 divided by 160? Just do that math real quick here. Let's see what it would be. Because I'm not going to. 2,500 divided by 160. Let's see if I can do this right. 2,500 divided by 160. 160 being 40-hour work weeks. That's $15.62 an hour. Woohoo! I'll be an NCO in the Army. I want a chance to get shot at for $15 an hour. No, thank you. So, if I get that letter, that's going to be funny, because I will certainly call whoever's name is on there and say, yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's see. Big gap here. Mark Bottoms, do I have an earthquake plan? There isn't a fault line here. Like I said, I mean, it'd have to be a massive earthquake in West Tennessee for me to be affected here. There's small fault lines and stuff like that, but there's not really much that you can do. I mean, if all of a sudden the earth splits open right through my living room, not a whole lot I can do. All right, if it happens, obviously you get away. This isn't going to be, what's the movie with The Rock or whatever it was. It's not going to be that crazy, and I can't fly a helicopter anyway. So, not really. Frank Bees, yes, Tyson Company, all employees have to get the jab for look for a chicken shortage. Yeah, they're going to lose employees like crazy. And you can bet that there's going to be a Tyson boycott coming up real quick. Let's see. Lucius Maximus, we need a good old volcano eruption. Out there, I mean, if you can go look, there's probably at least a dozen and a half that are going off right now around the world. So, just unless it's, Mount Vesuvius type huge, it really doesn't make a whole lot of news. But yeah, there's always volcanoes going off. Kimberly Tans, what is the least amount of food storage to have? Oof. My answer is a year. Okay. That's what, and again, I'll say the same reason I've said it many times. That gets you through an entire growing season. I mean, here it is. Let's say the balloon goes up tomorrow. Okay. And you've got a year's worth of food put away, but you didn't garden this year. You need to eat what you have between now and next August, beginning of next August, because by next August, you're going to need to be harvesting all the stuff that you planted in the spring so you can eat in the fall. Okay. That's kind of my point. Anybody who thinks, oh, I'm going to go out and hunt a deer and I'm going to catch squirrels and I'm going to go out and catch fish. Yeah, you and 350 million other people. Okay. It will take all of about a month for the deer population in the United States to completely disappear. Okay. In SHTF. You want to talk about fishing pressure, if that, I've got a lake here by me, but you want to talk about the pressure on the fish, you're going to be catching fish like this if you're lucky, and those are going to be the ones you're eating for dinner, okay? You need to have at least a year's worth of food put away so that you can grow and supplement with whatever you can forage, grow, or hunt. Starvation will be the number one killer. Guaranteed. It's not going to be bullets. It's not going to be marauders or anything like that. It's going to be starvation. That will certainly be the number one killer in SHTF. And it won't take long. I mean, you will have people dropping from starvation within a few weeks. Okay. Just because, if they're weak or whatever in the first place, done, and you're going to get some people that are going to be able to last a little bit longer, but starvation will be the number one killer. 1 year minimum is how much food you need put up. And in case you don't know what 1 year's food is, 1 year is 2,000 pounds of food per person. Okay. That's in normal times. That's what the average American eats a year, is 2,000 pounds. Okay. Now, you're going to be working a hell of a lot harder. Okay, because you're going to be doing a lot of physical activity. You might be eating more. Okay, so you want high calorie, high protein foods in your storage. Yellen said U.S. Cherokee survival. Yellen said USA only having 2 months of survival would be broke. Yep. A truck Campbell. Okay, that's a little bit of a general question. What should we do to prepare? Okay, this could be a year-long live stream and I'd never take a breath. If you're asking where to start getting food put away and start thinking about what is upcoming in front of you. What the first thing that's upcoming is going to be winter. All right. How are you going to heat yourself and heat your home, and how are you going to feed yourself? Those are your two priorities right now. How can you stay warm, and how are you going to eat, food and water and staying warm. So that means food and water, self-explanatory, blankets, alternate heat source, heavy weather, heavy clothes, sweaters, long underwear, extra socks, extra underwear. If you're talking about starting, if today is your first day as a prepper and you go, what do I do? You start getting your rice and beans, okay, cheap, calorie-dense food, and you start getting your stuff to prepare to keep yourself alive during the winter, okay? Cutting firewood, if that's what it takes, whatever it would be. Rooster, if they start to raise interest rates, it's all over. The banks aren't giving loans out now anyway. Okay, I mean that's the thing. I mean, who can borrow money when nobody's going to work? Banks aren't going, hey, you know what? You haven't had a job in 18 months. Cool, let me loan you some money to get you out of the hole. Wrong, So, the only place I'll agree with you that the raising of rates is going to suck, because that's where you get businesses that, borrow money on short term to buy inventory so they can pay back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see, where else are we? Oh crap, it's 9 o'clock. One more if I can. Irene Corneliuson, did I hear about the pork shortage problem they're having in California? Yeah, the whole thing that the bacon issue. Yeah, that we're all going to have. If you like bacon, guys, I would advise you go buy what you can now and stick it in the freezer. Bacon freezes fine. Okay. I believe you can can bacon, but don't hold me to that one. I've never done it. Okay. Because y'all know I'm a newbie at canning. But bacon freezes real good and it's nice and flat. So, go there. But Lucid Farms, last one here. Water filters first, like Berkey, seeds, and stored food. Yep. All good things. Taking care of your water, taking care of your food. I mean, those are the most important things to do. You aren't going to live if you don't eat. Okay. Think about, if you're new to prepping, think of the things that can kill you. No water, no food, freezing to death. Those can all kill you. All right. So those are the ones that you're going to take care of first. I know people that say, oh, well, you need to have a solar generator, and that's down the road. You need to have a gun. That's down the road. First priorities: food, water, shelter. Those are your priorities. Imagine you are a caveman, okay? Imagine you are homeless right now. You have nothing. What's the very first thing you're looking for? And that's how you start prepping, okay? You go through, if I had absolutely nothing, what's the first thing I need to find? Shelter. Okay, I have my house. What's the second thing I need to find? Food, okay? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's the first thing I need to have? Shelter. Still got it. What do I need next? Food. Okay. And that's how you kind of go, and it'll all kind of start falling into place, because you'll start thinking broader and broader and broader. It's like, okay, I've got food. I mean, y'all saw, 6 months ago or whatever it is, I showed you my food pantry. I mean, it's bigger and more now, but, that's just for the two of us and the dogs. It's a lot of freaking food that you got to put up, but, you just keep doing it. I've mentioned, Domestic Gangsta, her channel, many times. I mean, she does I think it's a $10 a week food prep, and shows everything that you can get for $10, by clipping coupons and going to the store and stuff like that, to put something together. It can be done. Prepping is not a sprint, guys. It's this is a marathon. There is no finish line, though. You're never done, okay? Because anybody ever says, oh, I'm done prepping. No, you're not. You can always go get one more can of beans, which is one more meal for you, okay? There's always something new. You can always buy another box of ammo. You can always buy another pack of batteries. Always stuff like that is there. So, all right, guys, a little after 9. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.